And I hear it all the time when somebody gets sick out there. First thing they think is it's their fault. They did something wrong. Like, why is this happening? And then if it doesn't go away, if it doesn't get better fast, then the doubt comes. I must have done something wrong. This must be my fault in some way. And it happens to everybody. There's no one that doesn't believe that when they're sick, and they're sick too long, and something's not changing, and something's not getting better, that it's got to be them that did it. Now, it's different with like a flu. You're like, well, wait a minute. Even though with a flu or COVID or something, even with that, they still might be like, all right, I must have like deserved this. My body needs this right now. You know, they'll do something like that. But if they're sick too long with the flu or COVID, now they're like, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Do I have long COVID? Do I have something? And it's the biggest problem when we get sick is that we blame ourselves, and no society created that. I know the industries help to feed that whole belief system, because the industries don't want to be blamed. You know, they don't want to be blamed. All the toxins, the poisons, and everything else. If it's okay, I'm hungry, and I'm doing a little talk on the chronically ill and being sick, but I also have a whole bunch of food here that I want to just take a look at and get out here. I just don't know really what I want to eat yet. Oh, yeah. All right. I got some more stuff, but this is pretty good. If you don't mind, I'm gonna take a little sip here of a HMDS. I'm gonna pop the cap off is what I'm gonna do. Right here. Pop this in here. It is so stellar. Just is stellar. That's my dessert. Is that bad to have dessert? Not when it's Cafe Gratitude, it's not bad. It's so healthy, it's ridiculous. It's the medical medium menu. So let's talk about this again. When people get sick, they blame themselves. They just do. And if you're sick for like a month and you really can't get a grip on it, you got these symptoms, maybe you got tremors for the first time in your life and you got the tremors, maybe you got restless legs that's starting to kick up, maybe insomnia, you're just not sleeping good, then it gets worse, and then you have your first all-nighter, like as if you partied all night, but you didn't party, you laid in bed suffering, because anyone who can't sleep at all, and they're tossing and turning, and they're laying in bed struggling, they're suffering, let's face it. And there's a lot of people that can't sleep at night at all, and they just sleep whenever they can, when their body just collapses. But regardless of what it is, we tend to just go after ourselves. But that was an industry thing for sure, because we're not allowed to blame anything else. Now it's shifting now, in the work over the decades, medical meme information, getting out there, and the work I've done, spreading the message and being a messenger of spirit of compassion. The industry is changing. You know, like autism being toxic heavy metals, ADHD, toxic heavy metals, it's original medical medium information. And then science grabs it, and then, you know, people in the industry and doctors grab it, and so forth. But the tide is shifting there. But regardless, no one's being educated, actually, in the direction of it's not your fault. They're just not. It doesn't exist. And medical meme information is about that. It's about you not getting the blame, because really it's not your fault. There's all these other reasons why you got sick. And everybody has different circumstances. They have different problems and different challenges and all of that. That plays a role too. Still, it's not your fault. But even today, a new person gets sick, it's the same old thing. They're told it's their fault many times. They believe it is, and then you hold on to it emotionally, and now you're in that trap. Now you're in that emotional sinkhole, you know? Just having some sushi. This is without the fish right here. Just have a little bit, dip this in here if this is okay, you guys. So good. I'm gonna grab a little bit of this wasabi and put this over here. There's no raw fish in here. Do not eat raw fish. Do not eat raw fish. This is not raw fish. If you want to eat raw fish, you're gonna get sick. And you may not get sick that day or that year, but you're going to get raw fish one day, and then you're going to get real sick. You just are. And that's not what this is. This is incredible. Absolutely incredible. So good. It's the medical medium millet sushi, nori rolls, the millet nori rolls, without raw fish at Cafe Gratitude. So, as I was saying before, if you catch COVID or some kind of respiratory infection from a flu, you're down and out. If you can't crawl out of it and get out of it, you'll start saying, well, it's my fault because somebody else, they got out of it. How did that other person get better? And then you run into people who, on social media, you think they're really sick, maybe an influencer or something like that, but they've learned to also speak. They've learned to speak to the chronically ill because they get a lot of traction. So they'd be like, I had that too, and I had that too. But meanwhile, they were nowhere near sick as so many people on Mattress Island that are bedridden. I'm gonna have the kelp noodles, a little bit of that. There's just some noris right there. I'm gonna pop that in here. I didn't have a piece of ginger yet. I should have. I'll do that in a little bit. Here we go. Right here, this is the kelp noodles. This is so tasty. This just pops. It's another very tasty dish. The problem is, though, when you get sick, but you don't know really what it is, and then you're going and searching, and one person says it's parasites, another person says it's something else, another person says it's adrenals when it's not your adrenals, another person says you got autoimmune, but they don't really have any idea what's going on, another doctor says this, then you get the blood draw thing. People are so sensitive. When you got chronic illness, you have an immune system problem already, and then you go and get like 3 vials of blood, 5 vials of blood taken out. Then 2 days later, you're really down and out, you're in bed, you're sick. You call the doctor, I don't feel good, I'm even sicker, well, you better get to a specialist, and then you get another 5 vials, or 7, or 10, or 20. You can get 20 vials. So many people doing that. There's so many different doctors doing that now. They just order so much blood. And it just sends somebody even backwards more. It's not that I'm anti-blood work. I mean, you can get blood work, yeah, and it's good. It's just got to do it smartly to protect yourself if you got chronic illness. And if you know medical medium information, you know all about that. If you've listened to medical medium information and read the books. But anyone who's struggling with chronic illness, they get themselves in this quagmire. And that quagmire is, I'm not getting better fast enough. I'm trying all these different things. I got all these different diagnoses. And then they're on the internet and they're scouring the internet. And then they're hating on themselves eventually because, ooh, man, you can't get back to work, or you feel like you can't function, or the people around you think something's wrong, or the people around you just think it's bullshit. Oh man, you can really start hating yourself pretty fast. Chronic illness is no joke. It is such a trap. But the thing is, it's not your fault if you got sick. Getting a little dark outside, but it's my dinner. This is really good. This is so delicious. The kelp noodle and green papaya. Kelp noodle, it's got the carrots. I might try something else if that's okay. Let me take a look. There's a lot of great dishes here. That's a beautiful pesto potato salad over there at Cafe Gratitude. Medical Medium collaboration. Oh my God, that's the pumpkin pasta. That's the pumpkin pasta right there. These are so good. I'm gonna go into a little bit of a pasta right now. You guys are okay? This is the pumpkin pasta dish. Beautiful salad with it. And this is takeout. Oh, whoa. I think it's hard when there's so many people suffering and struggling out there. It's worse than it's ever been before. But you think about how many people are doing organic, how many people are eating, healthier. They're doing keto, carnivore. They're juicing too out there. Not a lot of that, but they're doing it out there. And with all of that, and being concerned about ultra processed foods, ultra processed foods, and everything else that they're concerned about, it's amazing how chronic illness just keeps on just rising. And in about 10 years, where are we going to be? It's not going to be much different. And anyone who decides to start eating better, they might turn the corner a little bit, but they might end up back to being sick again unless they really get to the root of why they're sick and suffering, getting the answers they need, because the confidence part really matters. Being confident about what you're doing and getting a result and then sticking to it and having it make sense and understanding why they're sick and what's causing that sickness. So if you got fatigue, having the answer to why you have fatigue, like Epstein-Barr virus, understanding the neurotoxins, understanding the different aspects of a viral infection, low-grade viral infection, medical medium information, understanding those stealth viruses and understanding where you are with your fatigue, neurological fatigue, your nervous system, then you can really hang on for the ride and be like, but I know what I'm doing, I know how to heal. And you start getting those results when you stick with it. And the problem is out there because nobody really knows why anybody's sick, and they don't understand autoimmune, and they don't understand how it works. You can just play in that garden of madness. Sea of confusion is what I've always said. You can play in that for a decade, and a decade will go by fast. It will go by fast. When you're younger, a decade is 100 years. And I'm not just saying this because I'm an older guy and I'm an older person, and I'm saying that because, hey, younger people think that time goes by so much slower, or feel that time goes by slower, but 10 years will go by really quick when you're sick. So when you're younger and sick, it goes by and flies by. And you're just like, oh my God. And then you're on the other side of this. And now I'm 30. Now I'm still sick. Now I'm still suffering. I never really got better. And you have this history of trying so many different things and dealing with the struggle emotionally, physically, and mentally and spiritually for those 10 years. And in the end, you'll end up still blaming yourself, because why isn't someone else sick? There's always going to be that one person out there that you see, or that somebody that you lock onto. It's like, they're fine. They're not suffering like this. What are they doing right? It's like, no, that's not it. It's what happened to you, the exposures, what you were born with. Yeah, passed down from generation to generation, what you may have contracted, what you may have been exposed to. And then your immune system struggles to really, truly understand them. And I'm noticing alternative medicine is trying to get more complicated, and even more complicated than it ever was before, instead of simplifying it and getting into the place of this is why you're sick, because they still don't know yet. So they're just complicating it more and more out there, making the person with an intelligent mind think they have it all together. So there's alternative systems and healing being built all around the world. And you're like, okay, let me go do that. Let me do the plasma. Let me do this. Let me do that. And let me inject this. Let me try this. And it's just on the search for, whoa, science really knows what's going on. I can heal. But then you're back to square one. You're still sick, and nobody really explained or taught you what the problem really is. Just a little nighttime dinner talk right here. Having some pumpkin pasta. Using chopsticks. So good. And let me take a look at some of the other things here. If I could give a message to anyone, it's once you have the correct information about what's bogging you down, what's holding you down, holding you back from healing, what's preventing you from healing. Once you have the correct information about your immune system and how it works and how to protect your immune system, once you become empowered and have this information, then you can move forward in leaps and bounds and really push forward, push ahead. Anyway, these are the tahini cookies right here. Oh my God, these are so, so good. These don't even stay in stock. They run out of these so fast, faster than they can make them. I Cafe Gratitude. These are so amazing, these cookies. I got a lot of food here. I have the HMDS. I got a celery juice right here. I'm gonna save that for the morning. I got the I Am Precious antioxidant smoothie. It's so good. I still got the nori rolls. Delicious, you guys, delicious. I have 2 cookies here. Anyway, just know I care, and we'll do more talks about this.